Welcome to Empower Her Radio, the podcast for healthcare moms who want to break free from limiting beliefs, build unshakable confidence, and step into the truest expression of themselves, both personally and professionally. I'm your host, Corey Wynn. I'm a wife, a mom, a doctor of physical therapy, and a peak performance strategist. Working with highly motivated women to transform their lives and inspire those around them is what truly lights my soul on fire. Each episode, whether it's a solo session filled with actionable strategies or an inspiring interview with a woman who has overcome significant obstacles, is designed to leave you feeling worthy and confident in the value you have to offer everyone around you. I hope you walk away empowered and ready to take that next step to lead your life on purpose. Now, let's dive into today's show. Hello and welcome to Empower Her Radio. I'm your host, Corey Wynn, and I am incredibly excited to finally be launching this podcast. I have had ideas and thoughts swirling around in my head for months, and I knew it was finally go time. My goal for this podcast is to empower women and moms to step into the fullest expression of themselves, both personally and professionally, by empowering them to cultivate unshakable confidence. But before we get into the hows and what's of that, I want to tell you a little bit about myself. I am a wife, a mom, a doctor of physical therapy, and a women's empowerment coach. I was born and raised in North Carolina and had the luxury of traveling with my family all over the world growing up. It was a wonderful perk of having a father in the airline industry. I was also truly blessed to have my mom home with me after school, weekends, holidays, summers, work days, all the things. I didn't have to go to before and after school care. I didn't have to go to camps every week in the summer. And I remember recognizing the value in that, even as a younger child and as a teenager, and remember thinking, what was I going to do for my career that was going to afford me that same flexibility to be at home with my children that I hoped to have one day? And let's be very honest, I have incredible respect for teachers. And I can tell you right now, you don't want me teaching your children. So I knew that the path of being a teacher or working in the school system was not going to be for me. I was taught to stay in my lane, to keep my head down, to work hard, to go to college and get a good job and make sure it had health benefits and retirement. So I did all of those things. I went to North Carolina State for undergraduate and got my bachelor's in zoology. And then I went to the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill and got my doctorate in physical therapy. After graduating and studying for weeks on weeks for my boards, I started my career as a physical therapist. And let's just say the real world hit. I was working full-time plus overtime, sometimes 2 jobs, and I still had the little girl dreams of living luxuriously, traveling, being home with my family one day, being able to be a present wife and mom. And the shocking reality of working full-time plus was not going to allow for that. And I can't tell you how many people in my life have said, well, you got to suck it up. This is the real world. Or stop dreaming those crazy little girl dreams. This is reality. Keep your head down, keep going. But despite these early nudges of wanting more and making myself wrong for that, I stayed in my lane. I kept the safe job, like I said, sometimes 2. And in 2015, I was blessed to have my daughter. And I recognized in that moment, after being home with her for 12 weeks of maternity leave and going back to full-time work, how much of her life I was going to miss. How much of those 9 to 5 hours that I was working the grind, that her daycare teachers were going to see all of those firsts. And it really hit me when she was about 6 months old. She started crawling And I remember her crawling across the bathroom floor, and I was so incredibly excited to tell her daycare teachers about it. So I walked in all excited and told them, and I kid you not, her teacher looked at me and said, "Oh, she did that yesterday." And I thought, "Oh my gosh, I'm missing so much of her life." And let's just say the mom guilt came tumbling down on top of my head. Shortly after that, I was able to take my first small leap and started working part time so I could be home with her more in hopes of missing less of those milestones. After that, we had the opportunity to move across the country for my husband's job, and I was able to continue working part time and stay at home with her. In that same season of my life, I recognized that I may have possibly been the most unhealthy I had been in my entire life. With both my husband and myself as physical therapists, we looked at each other and I thought, how can we be physical therapists and work in healthcare and be so unhealthy? So, lucky enough, I had a friend who was a health coach, and that was really my first glimpse into what it might be like to be an entrepreneur and help people in a different way. As a physical therapist, a lot of times people think of injuries, surgery, pain, and I personally spent most of my career working with people with neurological diseases, specifically Parkinson's disease. And not only did I get to witness them moving better and functioning better in their lives, but the amount of people who told me how their quality of life had changed by being able to move better, by things not taking as long as they used to, that they were able to actually participate more in life, that is something that's so powerful. I can't really put it into words. So 4 years ago, I decided to take a leap and help people in a different way and opened my health coaching practice. And in that time, I've worked with over 200 men and women one on one on their health goals and walked alongside them as they improved their quality of life in a different way. And in the midst of all of that work in the last 4 years, I also recognized there was a need for so much more. I noticed even in my own health journey, significant self sabotage, recognizing that people would go forward and go backward throughout their journey. And arguably, we all fail forward. No one's journey to any type of success, health, career, personal, is a straight line. If it was, we would all be there and we would be done. So I embarked in that time about a year and a half ago on my own personal growth, personal development to really work and see how things like trauma affect people's ability to move forward in their health goals, limiting beliefs, thoughts about their own self worth. And I wanted a better way to help my clients. I knew that they needed more than a nutrition program. They needed the community that was also offered and the education, but significant work with past trauma, limiting beliefs, like I said. But I also knew that I had to stay in my lane. I don't have a background in therapy or counseling. That wasn't my scope of practice. So I looked into coaching a different way. Then, around that same time, I had my personal confidence rocked to my core. I was shaken so badly that I became completely paralyzed with self doubt. I questioned every decision I'd ever made. And I got to the point where I was ready to throw in the towel and give up on my dreams of being an entrepreneur because I'd completely lost sight of my own worth and the value that I had to give those around me. In those moments and the weeks thereafter, I'm so thankful for my husband because he pushed me to talk to somebody. He pushed me to really work through what was holding me back. He has been my biggest cheerleader and also the person to step back and go, no, we're not staying stuck here. We're moving through this. Let's go. Come on. So through that personal growth, through that personal development, I recognized my true calling and purpose in this life. It wasn't only to be an entrepreneur, it wasn't only to help people on their health goals, but to focus on deeper things, limiting beliefs, scarcity mindset, money stories, and work one on one with highly motivated women and mothers who are looking to level up in all areas of their lives. Women who have decided to no longer live small, to no longer make themselves wrong for wanting more in their lives, and who are looking for that unshakable confidence to show up as their authentic selves, both personally and professionally. And they just need the guidance to do so. I also realized during this process that really all of my life, I was not only living in my own personal scarcity mindset, living with low level anxiety, but that I lived my entire life looking for external validation to make sure I was on the right track. Was I making the right decision? To see if what I was thinking of was the right thing, that I had completely lost my ability to trust myself and my own intuition. And through investing in myself, hiring a business coach, all of that changed. And I'm so thankful to be here today to serve my clients as a women's empowerment coach, to see them be able to level up in both their personal and professional lives and go for whatever those dreams are that they've put on the back burner for so many years. So, my hope here with this podcast is to not only empower my listeners through solo episodes and interviews with amazing women, but also set you on the path of questioning your own life and thoughts about your future and what are you doing that's fulfilling your full purpose. I had a mentor once ask me, what is it costing you to stay where you are today? And that may very well have been the most important and most valuable question she or really anyone could have ever asked me, because it put me on the path to truly question, was I showing up as the best version of myself? Was I going for all of these goals that I had and I wanted for my future? And if I didn't, what was it going to cost not just me, but those around me if I didn't step into the fullest expression of myself? So, like I said, join me for solo episodes as well as interviews with some really incredible powerhouse women in all industries who've worked through limiting beliefs, scarcity mindsets, and made the decision to live the life of their dreams. Stay tuned for more. Thank you for tuning in to today's show. I just wanted to pop in with a quick offer. If any of the topics we talked about today have left you wanting more for your life and you just aren't sure how to take the next step, I'd love to offer a free discovery call to see how the high-level coaching and strategizing I offer may be of service to you. Just head to CoreyWynn.com and click on Request a Discovery Call. That's www.CoreyWynn.com. Thanks for joining, and I'll see you on the next episode.